Hello everyone, morning. My name is Dennis. I'm the captain in this container ship which is trading South America. We are presently en route to Callao, Peru. We departed from San Antonio, Chile 3 days ago. This is the third day of our voyage. Today I'm gonna show you around the bridge, our navigation equipments. But before that, let me introduce briefly about myself. I've been working as a seaman for 21 years. 10 years, or I would say 11 years of that as a master or as a captain in container ships. So most of my time spent at sea, traveling the whole world, carrying these containers, transporting goods. And now we are scheduled here in Brazil, Chile, Peru, and Ecuador. These are the four countries that we call. Today I'm going to show you the equipments that we have on the bridge, or the so-called navigation room. So we have a lot of equipments there, and each has its own function. I'm presently on the right or the left side of the bridge. That is a maneuvering console over there. So we are standing here on the port wing. So now we're gonna go inside to see what are those equipments that we have. The weather is so nice. The sea is calm. And we are steaming on half ahead only. We are somewhere in the coast of Peru. I have here some equipments that I want to show you. First is the speed log indicator. It will indicate our speed through the water. Second is our GPS, geographical positioning system. This will provide coordinates every second and will give us our position in the water. This is the marine VHF. It's used for communication with the port and the pilots. Channel 16 is the calling frequency for VHF. I have here ship's telephone, and the other one is the emergency phone, which has only a few numbers you can contact directly. And this one is our radar. It's used for detecting targets. It's a 3 centimeter radar, X-band, which is good for coastal navigation. This is a telescope. I have here some alarm indicators from different parts of the vessel. So from the elevator, dead man's alarm, cargo hold smoke detection, power failure, and here also the alarms from the steering gear. This one is a bow thruster. This is used when we are maneuvering, proceeding to the berth. To move the vessel sideways, we have to use the bow thruster. Some vessels are equipped with bow and stern thruster, but for our ship, she is only equipped with bow thruster. This is the knob for our steering, for the steering mode. Auto, hand, and remote control on the wings. This is the non-follow-up mode for the steering also. And this one is the autopilot system, where the vessel can steer itself without the quartermaster, without the helmsman. In the open waters, we don't need a helmsman, so we put it on autopilot, and the vessel will steer according to the desired heading by just pressing the buttons here. You can increase or you can alter course, and the rudder indicator will simply follow automatically. She will follow whatever is the course you require. This is our telegraph for ahead and astern. So now it's on half ahead because we are steaming on most economical speed. There is full. Half ahead is around 12 knots. Full ahead is around 15 to 16 knots. Nav full, she could run 20 knots or even more depending on her cargo and how heavy is the ship, and the other factors affecting her like current, wind, waves as well. In here you can see also the RPM indicator. So whatever is it says here 50 is the setting, she will also show here the same, indicate the same on the gauge. So as we move along, this is another radar. It's S-band, so 10 centimeters. This one is good for long range identification, long range system. She could track targets better in 12 and 24 miles than in the X-band. But right now we switch it off to let it rest for a moment. This is this electronic chart display information system. The purpose of this is to directly plot the ship's position on the electronic chart. 10 years, 15 years ago, charts are mainly made of paper, but due to technology, so they have upgraded it and transferred the paper into electronic system. So it's like a cellular phone wherein you can see your maps. It's like an application, but here this is a whole system. It's a whole unit. So that is her purpose. She can provide also, it can provide you with speed, heading, course, position, ETA, arrival. So all the information you need to navigate is in here, except that she can show targets on the identification system, but this is not used for collision avoidance. We use the radars for collision avoidance. So that's the difference. I have here another VHF, same as the one on the left side. This is another, we have two of all systems, most of the systems. Another GPS. This is a wiper control, automatic wiper control. This one here is the bridge alarm panel. Something goes wrong and the navigator is during his watch. It's used when navigators are on solo watch. It can be set to 3, 6 and 12 minutes. So after 12 minutes, if the duty officer is no longer moving or is not pressing any buttons, it will alarm on my cabin, on the master's cabin, and I can check on the bridge what is going on. So it's like a wake-up call. If he falls asleep, In 12 minutes, this will alarm, and if no answer, no, he will not activate. He will not. If he will not press any button, it will be directed to master's cabin, to the captain's cabin. So this is VDR, voice data recorder. It's like a black box for the airplanes. The box itself is on top on the Monkey Island, and if the vessel goes down, the vessel will sink. The black box is activated by the hydrostatic release mechanism. It will float, and it can be located by the rescuers for investigation. So I have here also the GS pump, which I have also on the other side. This GS pump is used to activate the fire hydrants. In case of fire, we need to activate the emergency fire pump or the bilge pump, the GS pump. This is a more powerful pump. It's used for emergency, for firefighting. So that's where we get our water from the sea and pass it through the hydrants and the fire hoses. This one is the watertight door indicator, because these are access going to the engine, and it's watertight, so it has to be closed all the time, especially in the night. So in case of collision, as long as the watertight doors are closed, we are assured that the engine room area will not be flooded. So in here, I have here a smoke detection system. So if fire and smoke, for the fire and the smoke, so if there is fire on accommodation, in the engine room, in the cargo hold, then it will show here what kind of alarm, from smoke to fire. Will every position of this fire detection system has a corresponding number, and that corresponding number will show here the area of which detection system activated, so the crew can check, immediately proceed to the location and check what's going on. These buttons here are used for switching on and switching off the lights. This is for the whole lighting of the vessel, accommodation, on the deck, and in the cargo hold. These are for signaling lights. So signaling lights are if you are restricted in maneuverability, if you are not under command, if you are at anchor, what else, and so on, based on the collision regulations. And these are the navigation lights, which are what we normally use while at sea. We activate the foremast, masthead lights, the side lights, and the stern lights. So behind me, this is I've shown this earlier, this is the steering panel. Okay. This one, it is I'm not sure if you can see it, but it is a mirror for looking at the magnetic compass. So if something goes wrong to the gyro, then we can still use our magnetic compass to steer on our heading, follow the exact heading. Over there, I have some equipments also. Mostly are indicators of what you can see from here, from the main console. Let me show you around. And first, this is another repeater with the, that's another gyro compass repeater. It is used for checking our heading and also taking bearings of the targets and the ranges of the lights. No, I mean bearing of the lights and landmarks. This one is the depth indicator. Bob is the call sign of the ship, which we use on the VHF. Depth indicator is like it's for the echo sounder. We'll show the depth as we proceed in the narrow channels. This one is the log speed. I can show you the speed of the water. The same with what I've shown you earlier. So it's like a copy of it. This one is the rate of turn. The rate of turn is indicating how fast the vessel is turning to the right or to the left. So if she goes on 10, 20, that means she's turning quite fast. So you have to counter by using the rudder in order to reduce the rate of turn. This is the gyro heading display. Present heading now is 345. So it should have the same heading here. It's showing also 3, 4, and 5. 345.6, 345.4.5. So it's the same. It's the rudder indicator. So right now she's just moving by itself because she's following 346 heading. So if there are variations on the headings, automatically the autopilot will move this rudder by itself. It's the same as the one we have there. It's also another indicator, the same rudder angle indicator. This is clinometer. It's used to indicate the inclination of the ship or the list. If she is inclined to the left or to the right, call it to starboard or to port, and how many degrees are we listing. So especially in the stormy weather condition, you can see exactly how much is the inclination, is the list. This one is the wind speed indicator. So the equipment is on top on the Monkey Island, but right now she's switched off because there was a problem with the PC board, so we are still fixing it. This is our clock, okay. And this is the same as I've shown earlier, main engine RPM indicator. So basically it's double of everything as a backup. This is second officer. He's busy with his reports. We are sending reports through email on the daily basis. We also have satellite communication. This is for satellite calling. And we have another satellite phone over here. So we have two of each system. This is the Navtex receiver, wherein we receive navigational warnings and some navigational information that are useful to our voyage. So mainly it's navigational warnings from let's say wrecks, weather forecast, obstructions, etc. Here is another important equipment, part of the GMDSS. This is the reason why the radio operators lost their jobs. Tama? Since they developed this system, they removed the radio operators on board and assign it to the navigators. So this is a Inmarsat C. It's very seldom used, but it has an independent system. It has its own satellite, so it can provide exact position, the same as the GPS. And it is used for sending emails also, and receiving navigational warnings. Let's see here, there are forecasts on the areas and other important informations vital to our voyage. But we seldom use this because we have the email, which is the main communication from our office and to the agents. Even the authorities, wherein we send reports while passing through the areas of the Chile rep, Peru rep. What is for Ecuador, Sec? Ecuarep?
Ecuador.
What is the name for?
Peruvian.
No, Ecuador.
Ecuadorian waters.
Ecuarep? Ecuadorian report. And what about Brazil? Sistram.
System.
Yeah, they have their own reporting system, but we are always using the email, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, but if the email is, something goes wrong to the email, then we are forced to use this Inmarsat C. So it's basically the same as typing, but the only thing is it don't have the cursor, so it's a little bit old-fashioned, but it is still used and required by the IMO for as part of the equipments on board. This one is the single sideband radio. It's used for medium frequency, so it's used for longer range. The VHF is only for short ranges, and this one is for medium frequency. We can use it around 200 miles, 300 miles. But the VHF is only effective up to 30 miles range. This one over here, we have another computer, but it is used mainly for chart correction on our ECDIS. So the service provider is sending the corrections in this computer, and we apply it directly to the ECDIS. Apply the corrections. This is our master clock. We call it the chronometer. So she is accurate. We have here UTC and the local time. Local time now is 3 p.m. and the UTC is 7 p.m. because we are on the west coast. Meaning GMT is ahead of us. Have here another GPS, the third GPS. So getting lost at sea is next to impossible at this time. Unlike in Magellan times where you have to use the sextant. But nowadays navigator have so many position fixing equipments. Okay, I have here a barometer. This is to indicate the atmospheric pressure. So from here we can determine if we are approaching a storm or there is an approaching storm by checking through this equipment. Okay. This one is another ECDIS, and independent from the one forward, the one on the console there. They are two independent systems. That is why we are no longer using paper charts because of this ECDIS. So basically those are the equipments that we have. I have here also a VHF radio for emergency. They are colored orange because we can only use this for during abandoned ship. The rest here are just manuals, books, SOLAS booklets. So those are the navigational equipments that we have here on the bridge. Thanks for watching. See you again on my next vlog. Bye.